This is episode 41 of the Rise Up podcast. We're a morning radio show hosted by Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life, a network of stations across New York and Pennsylvania. Our podcast is a weekly conversation that will help you think and grow in your faith. If you haven't already, subscribe today so you don't miss a single episode, and find out more about our show at familylife.org.
Thanks for making us part of your morning routine. It's Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.
Things you didn't know about the people on Rise Up. Hey, that's us. We have to find out what we don't know about each other. And if we don't know that about each other, probably most other people don't. Let's start with Tim. Tim, what don't we know about you that maybe we would be interested in knowing?
Wow, if we could wind back the clock a couple weeks, it would have definitely been that a real bombshell revelation that I'm a professional wrestling fan of sorts.
I'm still baffled by that.
I
did not see that coming. That was like a folding chair to the head for me.
Exactly. Yeah. Out of the ring.
Well, and then this kind of is going to sound like it goes along with it, what I'm going to say today, but it really doesn't. Like, they're totally different tracks of my brain. I have a black belt. I have a black belt in Taekwondo. And I think to most folks, I mean, that kind of thing is maybe surprising because I don't know if there's a stereotype of any sort of thing. Like, I'm not at all into mixed martial arts or UFC or any of that kind of thing. It was really more kind of the martial art aspect of it, kind of the philosophy of Taekwondo and things that I found really interesting. And yeah, I did get my black belt doing that up through high school and concluded that when I went off to college, and really enjoyed my time doing that. Now, I wasn't the one, like I said, who could do like competing and like fight other people and get medals for it and stuff. That's my wife. She's the black belt who has won.
Double surprise.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Trinity is the one. My wife is the one who has a black belt in karate and qualified to participate in tournaments in other countries and things. So she actually is really the one that I think if most people knew her, and most who do know her are a lot more surprised by that fact too. Wow, you guys both have black belts. What does this mean? Yeah, it's kind of a fun little thing to let people in on about our family.
Maybe you knew this about Terese. She also has a black belt. Also has
it goes with my black shoes.
Exactly. It goes right. It's a nice wraparound skirt that she uses it with. But that was
not
just
funny,
that.
You don't want to make jokes when you just found out your coworker is a black belt and also a wrestling fan.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I said, they seem like they go together, but they don't. They're two different parts of my brain.
But it speaks a lot to your discipline, Tim. And I would say that you are. If I had to say something about your character, you are disciplined in that, when we have things that need to get done, like if you ask me to do it, it might get done. It probably will get done at the very last minute if I remember. But if you are asked to do it, it will probably be done when it's supposed to be done and done well. And I think that that's some of what is required to get a black belt, right? I mean,
super
discipline.
Sweet. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Right. Yeah. The discipline aspect. And I mean, that's the thing that I feel like if anything that there is a take with it from me to today. Yeah. I always think back to those lessons. Very grateful to my master in Taekwondo.
Anybody here amongst the three of us? I know one of us has, but have the other two of you shaken hands with a sitting president?
Wow.
That's amazing. You have shaken a sitting president. Was he standing or was he actually sitting?
He actually was standing.
Okay.
So sitting president.
Standing, sitting president.
And we're talking like president of the United States. We're not like president of the Rotary Club or
that's
something.
That's true. Although that would be a good thing, too.
Just making sure.
Rotary Club presidents matter, too.
That's true. Right. But you guys haven't, I assume. That's why.
No,
I have never.
Yeah.
I have been in the same room as a sitting president, but not close enough to shake hands.
Wow.
Here's the interesting story. And President Jimmy Carter was in the early 80s. And here's how I got that close. And it's quite a story about Jimmy Carter himself, his character. You talked about character of a person. I was working in radio in Fayetteville, North Carolina at that time in the early 80s. And Jimmy Carter's sister, Ruth Stapleton Carter, was going through cancer, and she passed away. And she was buried in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So there was the funeral service, but then also there was the burial at the cemetery in Fayetteville. There was a small gathering of media, which I was a part of that media, And I would say there was only maybe a half dozen of us. It was a small group. And we were there. They had it cordoned off with a rope and that kind of thing. But we were just there observing so we could report on the story of Jimmy Carter coming in for his sister's funeral. He did not have to do this. Absolutely would not. And if he didn't, we'd all say, well, that's pretty normal. Here he was at his sister's funeral. She died in her early 50s. So it was she died young.
Right.
And he came over as he was ready to, got out of the limo, presidential limo, and he walked over and he saw the media over there. Again, only about a half dozen of us. And he came over and he just shook each one of our hands and thanked us for being there. And I thought to myself, wow, one, he didn't have to do that. But it just showed, again, his character and who he was, whether, the politicians, whether you agree or disagree or whatever you think about that end of it, that I will always have a high regard for Jimmy Carter because of, and he's shown in different areas why he is who he is. But that just showed in that time of mourning. Yeah. He was doing that, which he didn't have to. So that's my story of me shaking a hand of a sitting president.
I feel like you guys know all the stuff about me. I mean, you know my hidden talent of being able to list all 50 states in rapid succession.
Sure,
you know
right.
that I can still twirl the baton,
You can do both of those at the same time.
I probably could.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a YouTube video just waiting to happen. So
right.
I don't know. I usually just tell all of my stuff. I'm kind of an open book, but maybe you don't know that I am I'm a painter.
Oh.
I don't think I knew that.
I painted during the pandemic.
Wow.
That's pretty.
Picked up painting again. You can't see it on the podcast, but
no, that's true.
Kind of like
we did.
abstract art painting. When I was in high school, I was, really big into art, and it just kind of went by the wayside for a long time. Like things kind of do that you have passion for. And then, I don't know, when we had a little more downtime, I thought, well, I wonder if this is still a thing that relaxes me. And it kind of became more therapy than about the product. It just kind of became the thing where when, the news was on in the background, I would just be like at my easel with all my colors and trying to, just kind of creatively cope through that. And I don't know, I think there's something to that. God has created us to be multifaceted, and there's so much to the human brain, and there's so much that can be unlocked. I'm a big believer in like the two sides of the brain thinking thing. And I think that when you exercise that creative side, it can open up a lot more on the other side of your brain. And so I found it to be therapeutic. And also because if I was painting, I couldn't eat all the pandemic snacks. Because your hands were kind of busy. And so that might be the thing about me that you didn't know. And so if you get a really random looking piece of canvas from me someday in the future, don't ask what it is. You might go with like, oh, could you tell me about this? Or what were you feeling when you made this?
Could you paint a picture of Tim's black belt and have me in the background shaking hands with Jimmy Carter?
And a Rotary president
you
somewhere
have
in there.
just given me the best idea for a Christmas gift.
Thanks for making us part of your morning routine. It's Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.
I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. But I do. I can appreciate it because I know there's.
Is it calculus?
No.
I don't understand that.
It's art.
Yeah.
Art.
Now
I know there's a lot of people love art and they're great and they go to art museums and they see things and they're like, that's wonderful, and they sit there and they stare at it and they like, and there's meanings there. And I'm not taking anything away from it because there's a lot of talented people out there who do art. However, my brain doesn't, I guess, appreciate it because I look at it and go like, I don't know. And that's what I do. And
that's how I feel about baseball.
Exactly. Everybody has different tastes. Everybody, but this kind of proves my point in one way. There was a very famous art piece for 75 years. Have been taken around to different art museums, and they just discovered after 75 years that it was upside down. I mean, that's true story. That was true story, and it kind of proves my point. But how about this? You know what else is upside down? In Matthew, the greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted.
Yeah.
That's kind of upside down,
Yep.
some might
You
say.
just found the deeper meaning in that art.
Oh, see, there it is.
You did it.
Priceless piece of work there.
They're morning people because they love mornings and people. It's Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.
It is a dire situation. A man, and he's trapped in space. It wasn't that kind of communication. It was actually an Instagram message. This woman gets an Instagram message from a Russian astronaut, which I guess is what? Is that a cosmonaut?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right. He says that he works on the International Space Station. He's writing back and forth. They fall in love. He proposes.
Whoa.
She says yes, but with just one catch. The ceremony has to happen on Earth, and it's expensive, I guess, to get an Uber rocket from the ISS.
Yeah.
I've heard.
So she just has to send him $30,000, which she
serious?
does.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
She does. A total scam. This woman fell for this scam. And so beware of scams. If somebody says, I'm stuck on the International Space Station,
Right.
it's probably not true. And also a warning, if you go to space, make sure you've got a ride home.
Right. Yeah. Great lesson.
It's Steve, Terese, and Tim helping you to rise up on Family Life. A friend you can turn to.
It was much too cold yesterday to go swimming. That's what I thought when I first heard someone ask me, they texted me, do you Marco Polo? I'm like, too cold to get out in the pool and go, Marco Polo. And really quick, right after that, it was like video messaging.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? It's an app. Like, what?
That's different than WhatsApp. Just
Yeah,
That's
WhatsApp's
another-
different. And
exactly.
until I started asking around, and it seemed like half the people in our office knew exactly what Marco Polo was. It seemed to be a generational type of thing. The younger people tended to go, oh, yeah, it's that video messaging app.
we used to use.
Yeah, back in the day, was that, wait till, what do you guys hear about the fax machine? That is really cool. But anyway, so yes, I found out that that's something so I just.
No, it's just you're just a late adapter, is what they call it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's late.
That's it.
What was so cool, I downloaded the app, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, apparently, when other people are on it, they know. And so I got a text from my daughter saying, oh, you're on, great. And then so she sent me a Marco Polo, little video message. And she was like, that's so exciting. That's so fun. And she almost went into tears. She goes, that is so cool. I'm so proud of you. You're growing up. You're growing up. Well,
Never.
Never. Yeah.
Never. And we like it that way. We like you this way.
Oh, just the
Okay.
way you are.
Let's go into the pool. Marco!
Hello, you little late adapter.
May the blessings of the Lord be with you in all that you do today. This is Rise Up on Family Life.
It's a moment of improvisation. Because if we didn't plan it ahead of time, that would be improvisation.
Since you're all here on time, today's meeting will be pwned.
Wait, it's delayed?
No, that's postponed. Pwned means we're starting now. You'll catch on. Terese, you go first.
Well, as you all know, some words don't usually have opposites. For example, Tim, you're looking shoveled this morning.
Man, I even combed my beard for this. Oh, I get it. Not disheveled.
Right. Now, some people are bothered when you talk like this, but we at Unnecessary Grammar Enterprises find it quite irritating.
I'm following you, I think.
We believe if people start talking like this, they'd be much more gruntled. We think you'll be perfectly whelmed.
Okay, all right, let me try. So, how's this? I don't feel like exercising today, so I'll just size.
No, size is not a word.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Wait, but I thought we were taking words you normally say one way, and then we were...
You're not invited to join us next time, so please do come back for another moment of improvisation with Rise Up on Family Life.
Sharing the message of hope. It's Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.
Thanksgiving doesn't have enough songs. That's what we believe here at Rise Up anyways, so we bring you, straight from the Thanksgiving table of Steve Smith's childhood, a turkey tune for your Thanksgiving.
My turkey 'tis of the sweet bird of cranberry, of thee I sing. I love thy breast and wings, back legs and other things. I love thy good stuffings, O luscious bird.